In this section, I want to focus a little bit on the workflow of determining if your computer is running the correct operating system. So the fundamental question that's being asked in task 4 is, does your computer meet the operating system requirements? And just as with the hardware section, there's going to be 3 potential answers. As you can guess, the first one is likely going to be yes, and if it's yes, that means that you may have purchased a new computer that already has the required operating system, or you're already running Windows 7 Pro 64, Windows 8 Pro 64, or Windows 10 Pro 64. Now, if you are running Windows 7 Ultimate 64, that's fine as well. And if you're running Windows 8 or Windows 10 Enterprise Pro or 64, that's fine as well. So if Windows 8 and 10, the Pro part says Enterprise, that's fine. On Windows 7, if the Pro part says Ultimate, that's fine as well. You do also want to pay attention to the 64-bit, because if you're running a 32-bit operating system, you're going to have a pretty tough time being compatible with all of the resources such as plotters and a lot of the shop software that we have here. So if your response was yes and you're running the correct operating system, you can proceed on to task 5. Now, if your answer to this question is no, well, obviously we're going to have to figure out how to make it so that the answer can be yes. So one option that you have is to do an upgrade install. The other option is to kind of start over fresh. So if you're going to do an upgrade install, that usually means that you're running Windows 7 Pro 64 and you want to go to Windows 8 Pro 64, or you're running Windows 8 Pro 64 and you want to go to Windows 10 Pro 64. If you're going to have to do a fresh format, this likely means that you're running Windows Media Center, Windows Home, you have a virus infection, you're unable to install or uninstall software, you have hardware malfunctions such as a dead hard drive, you're trying to go from a 32-bit operating system to a 64-bit operating system. In either of these cases, there are some processes that you want to keep in mind when needing to do upgrades or reformats. The first one is you're definitely going to want to back up. The second one, and this is usually going to be the vendor's responsibility, is to obtain drivers for your computer. The third one, and this is going to be your responsibility, and that is to obtain Windows. So if you're going from Windows 7 to 8 or from 8 to 10, you'll need to obtain copies of Windows 8 or Windows 10. How to install Windows, that's going to be something that your vendor is going to do for you. So in either of these cases, if you choose to do an upgrade or a fresh reformat, this is the process that you will need to go through to accomplish either of these tasks. The third possible answer to does your computer meet the operating system requirements is going to be I don't know. And if you don't know, there is a tutorial or a guide that has been written to help you to determine your computer's operating system. So hopefully after you complete this tutorial guide, you should be able to answer the question, does your computer meet the operating system requirements? And the answer is going to be either yes or no. I do want to let you know that in past years, we used to have tutorials on how to do these 4 steps here. Due to budget cutbacks, we've had to remove some of the tutorials, so a lot of these tutorials were not remade this year. So how to install Windows, that tutorial was removed. How to obtain Windows, how to obtain drivers, and how to do backups. We also don't have the tutorial on how to do, or what you should be thinking about when you are starting up a new Dell. So I'm just going to really briefly give you the quick and dirty of it. So how to do backups, how to obtain drivers, and how to obtain Windows, and how to install Windows. This is something you're going to have to work with your vendor on. So you're going to have to hire somebody to help you walk through these steps. The new Dell startup, the thing that's most critical here is making sure that you know what that username and password is that you set up for your new Dell startup. because those are the master keys that are going to get you into your computer in case you lock yourself out of your computer. That's going to be the most important critical information here. So make sure you either write that down or have that memorized somewhere. And it's not just the password that is important, it is also the username. So please remember to also write down the username.